There are places on our planet that seem to exist outside of time. They are whispers on the wind, secrets kept by the sea. One such place is a remote island, known to the few who have charted its shores simply as the Isle of Echoes. It lies far from the well-trodden paths of our world, a solitary sentinel in the vast, deep blue of the ocean. To approach it is to feel a sense of profound isolation. The air grows still. The endless horizon is broken only by the slow, deliberate beat of a seabird's wings. It is a world that feels ancient, untouched, and utterly at peace. A world that hums with a quiet, powerful energy. The journey to this island is not for the faint of heart. It is a long, arduous voyage across churning seas that have swallowed ships and legends alike. As one draws nearer, the first sign of life is not the land itself, but the change in the water. The deep indigo gives way to a brilliant turquoise, so clear you can see the shadows of unseen creatures dancing in the depths below. Then a scent arrives on the breeze, a rich, earthy perfume of damp soil and exotic blossoms, a fragrance that speaks of life in its most primal, untamed form. It is the island's first greeting, a promise of the wonders that lie just beyond the veil of mist. When the mist finally parts, the island reveals itself in breathtaking splendor. Jagged, volcanic peaks, cloaked in emerald green, claw at the sky. Waterfalls cascade down sheer cliffs, their spray creating a permanent rainbow that arches over the shoreline. The beaches are not of golden sand, but of fine, black volcanic dust that glitters like a carpet of crushed diamonds under the sun. It is a landscape of stark contrasts, a place of both gentle beauty and raw, formidable power. The sound of the waves crashing against the rocks is the only constant, a rhythmic pulse that is the very heartbeat of this extraordinary sanctuary. But this island holds more than just natural beauty. It holds a secret that has begun to draw the attention of the wider world. The very isolation that has protected it for millennia is now the reason it has become a point of focus, a place of intense interest and growing tension. The silence of this Eden is being threatened by the noise of distant ambitions. The calm is being disturbed by the ripples of a gathering storm. What was once a forgotten paradise at the edge of the world is now, tragically, at the center of a dangerous and uncertain stage. If you're captivated by stories like this, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more in-depth explorations and suspenseful journeys. Your support helps us bring these hidden corners of the world to light. The island's interior is a world unto itself, a living cathedral of ancient forests. Giant ferns, older than any human civilization, form a dense canopy that filters the sunlight into a soft, ethereal green glow. The air here is thick and humid, heavy with the scent of moss and decaying leaves, the smell of life, death, and renewal all at once. Every surface is alive. Brightly coloured fungi cling to fallen logs, and orchids bloom in the high branches, their delicate petals like jewels in the gloom. To walk here is to step back in time, to a world as it was before our own. The only sounds are the drip of water and the rustle of unseen things. This sanctuary is home to creatures found nowhere else on Earth. It is a land of unique adaptations, a testament to the power of evolution in isolation. Enormous, flightless birds with plumage the colour of a sunset wander through the undergrowth. They are gentle giants, their calls a low melodic boom that echoes through the trees. In the rivers, luminous fish create their own light, turning the dark waters into a flowing galaxy of stars at night. These species have lived here, undisturbed, for countless generations, their existence a fragile miracle that has persisted against all odds. The island's coastlines are just as remarkable. Here, colonies of sea lions with coats of shimmering silver bask on the warm volcanic rocks. They are the guardians of the shore, their loud barking calls a boisterous welcome to the few who arrive. In the shallows, giant sea turtles, their shells like ancient patterned shields, graze peacefully on seagrass. They move with a slow, deliberate grace, embodying the timeless rhythm of this place. The ocean currents that swirl around the island are rich with nutrients, supporting a vibrant ecosystem that begins with the smallest plankton and ends with the majestic whales that migrate past these shores each year. Every element of this island is interconnected. The birds spread the seeds of the giant trees. The droppings of the sea lions fertilize the coastal plants. The rivers carry nutrients from the volcanic soil down to the waiting sea. It is a perfectly balanced system, a delicate web of life where every thread is essential. The loss of even one species could cause the entire tapestry to unravel. This is not just an island. It is a living, breathing organism. It is a precious, irreplaceable treasure, a window into the world as it once was, and a stark reminder of what we stand to lose. For centuries, this island was merely a speck on a map, a navigational hazard to be avoided. Its value was in its beauty, its wildness, its sheer and utter remoteness from the affairs of humankind. But in our modern world, remoteness itself has become a strategic asset. The very thing that kept the island safe is now what makes it so desirable. It sits at a crossroads, a silent junction in the middle of the world's most important shipping lanes. Whichever nation controls this island controls the flow of goods, resources, and influence across an entire hemisphere. Imagine a single, immovable watchtower placed in the middle of a vast, open highway. That is what this island has become. From its shores, one can monitor the passage of ships and submarines without being easily detected. Its high peaks are perfect locations for powerful radar installations, eyes that could see for thousands of miles in every direction. Its deep, natural harbours could shelter a fleet, providing a forward base far from any mainland. In the quiet language of global strategy, this small piece of land is not an island. It is a stationary aircraft carrier, a dagger pointed at the heart of global trade. The political importance of the island is simple yet profound. It represents control. In a world of shifting alliances and simmering rivalries, the ability to project power across the ocean is paramount. Planting a flag here is not just a claim on a piece of rock, it is a declaration of dominance. It sends a message to rivals and allies alike. It says, "We are here, we are watching, we can reach you." The nation that holds this island gains a powerful advantage, tilting the delicate balance of power in their favor. It is a prize that many are now willing to risk a great deal to obtain. This is why the world's great powers have suddenly taken such a keen interest. Their ships patrol the waters nearby, their planes skirt the edges of its airspace, and their diplomats engage in tense, whispered conversations in far-off capitals. The island itself remains oblivious to these maneuvers. The giant birds still roam the forests, and the sea turtles still graze in the shallows. But a shadow has fallen over this paradise. It is the long, dark shadow of human ambition. A shadow that threatens to extinguish the very light that makes this place so special. The prize is in plain sight, and the game has begun. The arguments over the island are rooted in history and ambition. Several nations lay claim to it, each with their own story, their own justification. One nation points to ancient faded maps, claiming their ancestors were the first to chart its treacherous shores centuries ago. They see the island as part of their historical legacy, a lost piece of their national identity that must be reclaimed. Their claim is one of heritage, a matter of national pride. To them, relinquishing the island would be to betray the memory of their forefathers. It is an emotional and deeply felt connection. Another, more powerful nation dismisses these historical claims. They argue from a position of practicality and power. They point to the island's strategic location and declare it a vital interest for global security, their security. They have the military might to enforce their will, and their rhetoric is one of necessity. They claim that leaving the island unclaimed would create a power vacuum, a source of instability that could threaten the entire region. Theirs is a claim of modern geopolitics, where might often makes right, and where the future is seen as more important than the past. A third, smaller nation, which lies closest to the island, makes a different plea. They have no ancient maps or powerful fleets. Their claim is based on proximity and stewardship. For generations, their fishermen have relied on the rich waters surrounding the island. They see themselves not as owners, but as custodians. They worry that a military presence would destroy the fragile ecosystem and their way of life along with it. Theirs is a cry for preservation, a voice of reason that is easily drowned out by the drums of national ambition and military strategy. And so the world watches. The island has become a fault line, a point where the tectonic plates of global power grind against one another. Every diplomatic statement is scrutinized. Every naval maneuver is analyzed. The tension is a slow, creeping tide that rises with each passing day. Small incidents, a fishing boat straying into disputed waters, a patrol plane flying too close, are magnified into major international events. The situation is a tinderbox. A single miscalculation, a single act of aggression could be the spark that ignites a devastating fire. The storm is no longer gathering. It is here. If a conflict were to erupt here, the consequences would be catastrophic, spreading like a shockwave across the globe. The first victims would be the island itself. The very things that make it a paradise would be obliterated. The ancient forests would be consumed by fire. The clear waters would be poisoned by oil and wreckage. The unique wildlife, which has known no predators, would be defenseless against the brutal machinery of war. The silence of millennia would be shattered by the roar of jets and the thunder of explosions. The Isle of Echoes would become an island of ghosts. The human cost would be immediate and severe. The soldiers sent to fight and die for this remote piece of land would be the first to fall. But the conflict would not remain contained. The island's strategic location means that any battle fought here would instantly disrupt the arteries of global trade. Shipping lanes would be closed, supply chains would be broken, the flow of essential goods, food, fuel, medicine would grind to a halt, economies would falter, shelves would empty, the conflict on a distant island would quickly be felt in homes thousands of miles away. This is how a regional dispute could escalate into a global war. Alliances would be triggered, nations would be forced to choose sides. What begins as a fight over a single island could draw in the world's major powers, pitting them against each other in a deadly struggle. The rhetoric would escalate, ultimatums would be issued. The world would hold its breath as leaders make decisions that could lead to unimaginable destruction. The mechanisms for a world war, long dormant, would be reawakened, all for a piece of land that most of the world had never heard of before. The final terrifying risk is the unthinkable. In a world where several nations possess the ultimate weapon, any direct conflict between them carries the risk of nuclear escalation. A desperate move, a misread signal, a belief that one has no other choice. It could lead to the final war. A war that would not only destroy the island and the nations fighting over it, but could threaten the very survival of our species. The chain of events is terrifyingly plausible. It starts with a disagreement over a remote paradise and ends with the potential for a global apocalypse. Yet it does not have to be this way. There is another path. A path that requires not strength of arms, but strength of character. A path that demands not dominance, but wisdom. The Isle of Echoes, this place of tension and potential conflict, could instead become a symbol of something far greater. It could become a testament to our collective ability to choose peace over war, cooperation over confrontation. It could become a beacon of hope in an often troubled world. The very qualities that make it a strategic prize could be repurposed for the good of all humanity. Imagine if the nations of the world came together not to fight over the island, but to protect it. Imagine if they declared it a global sanctuary, a World Heritage Site for all people, for all time. Its unique ecosystem could be studied by scientists from every corner of the globe, unlocking secrets that could benefit us all. Its pristine environment could serve as a baseline, a vital benchmark against which we can measure the health of our planet. The island could become a living laboratory for peace, a place where international cooperation is practiced and perfected. Such an act would send a powerful message. It would demonstrate that we are capable of rising above our narrow national interests for the sake of a shared, precious resource. It would show that we value the preservation of life more than the projection of power. To protect this island would be to invest in the future, not just for the unique creatures that call it home, but for ourselves. It would be an acknowledgement that some places are too special to be scarred by human conflict, too valuable to be lost forever. In the end, the fate of this small, remote island is a reflection of our own. It presents us with a choice. Will we allow our most destructive impulses, our greed, our pride, our fear, to turn this paradise into a battlefield? Or will we find the wisdom and foresight to preserve it as a shared treasure. The wind still whispers across its empty shores, and the waves still crash against its volcanic rock. For now, the island waits. It waits for our answer. And in that answer lies not only the fate of an island, but perhaps the fate of our world.